Hello, everyone. Surprise, surprise. It's me, your host today, with the gorgeous Cassandra Spicer, the ultimate Barbie.
About
if,
that.
if those don't know, Cassandra just celebrated a really fun birthday and she had a little Barbie theme, and it was really fun to watch them celebrate. So happy birthday, Cassandra.
Thank you so much, Kristen. I figured that if I was going to turn the big 40, I would just pretend like I was younger than I feel or am. So that was the kind of, just behind the birthday theme.
So fun. It was so fun to see. And we should all get to celebrate that we're Barbie girls, right? I think that was one thing that was kind of fun about that movie, is that there are so many different types of Barbies.
I, for instance, was President Barbie. So
Mm-hmm.
that was my easy out on my costume, which I felt kind of guilty after the fact, because I had a lot of people at my party that really went all out with their costumes with like wigs and things. So
That's so fun. What a good time. What a great way to dress up. I think I would have had to have been weird Barbie. That would have been my I can't make a split though, so that would have been a little rough. That would have been a little hard.
I don't think either of my weird Barbies did the splits that night, but yeah, I had forgotten about that being part of the costume. I'm gonna have to scold them now.
Thomas says, I am Knuff. Yes, you are, Thomas.
You are enough, Thomas.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, welcome everyone. This is one of our fun beading parties we like to host here at Softlex Company with our beading friends. Today we have Cassandra Spicer from Beads to Live By. Many of you know and love her like we do. And just want to give a little shout out to our dear friend Sarah Ayler, who's not able to be with us today. She's had quite a rough week. They had spent the last couple of days in the ER with their husband Joshua, and then she came down with a stomach something or other and not feeling well as soon as even before they left. So as soon as she came home, she's now down for the count. So they're having a really rough week. I'm wishing them a lot of love, and I hope everyone is feeling better for the holiday weekend and they get it all out of their system this week now, and everyone's doing okay for the holiday and they can just kind of relax and enjoy. But that's why you have me here instead of Sarah this time. So lovely to see all of you, and we're going to have some fun with Cassandra with a little holiday theme idea. Is this one of your curated boxes that we're looking at, Cassandra?
So this was not one of the subscriptions, but I have been adding any of the sets that I do like this to the curated tab on the website. And I did, by some miracle, because I feel like my head's not on straight this week, bring home the full sets of each of the, there's my hands.
Yeah, there you are. Let's see those beads.
Yeah, that beautiful bead footage. So this is the holiday winter bundle, and I did this one because I am not always a very like red, green, and white kind of girl for the holidays. I kind of like to, change it up a little bit and play on the themes of colors that you do around this time of year traditionally. But this one has like kind of cranberry reds and wintry greens and silvers and crystal and AB finishes. And it's just a really nice, these have been a huge hit.
I love those. I was just biting my lip here, waiting to tell you that I love them as soon as you were done explaining them. I was like, those are phenomenal. They're great shape and size and color, everything.
Yeah, I think what catches people's eye about this bead that they don't really realize is that the glass color is actually the color that you're seeing. So a lot of the times when you see a bead like these two, for instance, the color is the finish on top. But with this, it's like the color throughout the bead that you're seeing. So
wow, which is why you probably get such a pretty variation.
Yes,
because of
for
that.
sure. And I just wanted to include similar things in each set. So that's the winter. I believe I called it just the winter color in the holiday bundle option. And then this is the, let's see, what did I call that? The classic.
Yeah.
So your traditional, like, kind of smack you in the face, red, white, and green colors.
Yeah.
But in a good way.
But in a good way. That reminds me, like when I look at those colors, those great, I guess they're considered like lawn decorations, like the old school ones that are plastic that light up. Like they're just very vintage color. Like that just kind of screams at me with that fun colorway.
And so each bundle includes like a 3 and 4 millimeter fire polish, because those are really helpful for like spacing things out. I had some fun leaves that I know with like either drop designs or just for the sake of emulating something like the top of a holly berry or a wreath, those would be really helpful. And then I did a little tutorial last year using this shape of bead and made these sweet little Christmas tree earrings. So you guys can find that in some of my previous posts. But, I tried to include that kind of stuff in both bundles. And then this one was just a little extra because there were such pretty colors in that like cranberry shade and then that massive green bead. So there is a price difference between those two. The winter is $29.99 and the classic is $24.99. But either one of those is like up to 40% off of the retail value on all those strands individually. So it's a really good deal.
Oh, wow. That's really, I mean, it really is. That's a huge deal. And I think what's fun too is like they're great for the holidays, but you can always pull out those green leaves in another project or use those cranberry things for the Valentine's Day, so it's like, they're great for now, but they're also great for later too.
And if you separate them out, like you could use any one of them throughout the year without it looking like, a holiday explosion. So.
Right. And then of course, you've got some pretty colors here.
I hope these are current colors. I really went back and forth on the red because there was the spinel and then there was 1 or 2 other reds that were super pretty with it. So don't get stuck on the colors I chose if anybody's out there coveting things that are no longer around. This one's the green emerald. I don't know if that's an older color or not, but
yep, both the red and the green, the true red and the true green are older discontinued colors. But
that red, I can't tell you how many times I went back and forth because I had one that was brighter. Maybe a coral or something at the store.
Well, which one is this one? Red coral is the one that's discontinued.
Oh, this is the spinel.
Oh, that one, that one's discontinued too, but we may have a little of spinel still left. I think red coral is completely gone unless you can find it in a trios hanging around.
Oh, I might have some of those at the shop too.
Yeah, so sometimes the trios stick around just a little longer until we deplete that,
Gotcha.
inventory.
And then just like a classic antique brass in case I need something like that to fill in a color, but
love it.
Yeah, so I'm playing around with those. I've got some wire out in front of me. I really wanted to, one of my plans was to do a bracelet with some of these beads. So I was going to play around with that idea first. If you want to show us what you're
sure
playing around with, I'll get my stuff out.
All right, that sounds great. I'm going to actually talk a little bit about our sale going on right now,
awesome.
And then we'll come back to you. So, all right, so I'll switch to my screen, but I'm actually going to pull up a little picture of our sale so that you know what I'm talking about here.
Oh, great.
String in the holidays today over at softflexcompany.com. And we decided to try something new and do like the more you buy, the more gifts you get in your orders. We thought this would be really fun for this last week right before the holiday to just give a bunch of stuff away. And so we've got free EconoFlex in every single order that's placed starting today through December 26th while supplies last. And you're going to get a 30-foot spool of cinnamon red Econoflex in our fine diameter. While supplies last, I may swap it if we run out to a different color, but as of right now, we're sticking with the cinnamon red. And then if you spend $39, you'll get the Econoflex cinnamon red spool, and then you'll also get our Pro Econoflex free too. And that will be medium diameter in the steel. Then if you spend $69, you'll get those 2 spools I've already mentioned, and you'll also get a Softlex pink tourmaline, 10-foot spool added. And then on the $99, you will get all of the things. So you'll get the 3 spools that I've already mentioned, and then you'll also get a soft touch heavy 10-foot spool into your order. And so really, really fun. We went through all of our 4 brands, and starting from the Economy Econoflex up to our premium soft touch. And then we also went through most of the diameters. So you'll get a fine, you'll get 2 mediums, and then you'll get a heavy kind of in that order, so that you get to try all of the brands and almost all of the diameters if you were to get to $99 and get everything included. But that was something that Thomas thought of. And so we really had fun putting that together for all of you for this week. I have an example of those things here, but not in the right colors. So, or diameters, actually. I was kind of funny because I was pulling all my stuff out and I'm like, oh gosh, I don't even have these things. So here's the Econoflex, and it's our economy beading wire. It's not made in the USA, and it is one that we we brought in for the budget conscious. It's still a very nice flex wire, and so you'll get a spool of that in our cinnamon. But I have plum here that I think I might play with. I'm thinking of sugar plum fairies. And then next up is the Pro Econoflex, also not made in the USA, but it's a step above the Econoflex. And it comes in either steel gray, and maybe we still have gold color. I'm not sure, but this is the gold color that I've got here. Then we step up to the Softlex pink tourmaline in our medium. This is made in the USA. You guys know and love our Softlex line of products. This is the medium, the most commonly used diameter. And then lastly will be the Soft Touch, which is our premium product. It's 50% softer than Softlex, and it's a little more thread-like in its style. It only comes in the satin silver color in the heavy and the medium. And you'll get a heavy one, which is great for heavier designs and bracelets and things like that. So you'll get to kind of try them all. And then also speaking about gifts, I've got our 2 kits that we've currently got in the shop. I think we have less than 10 left of Snowy Day. This is our Great Bead Extravaganza kit. And then we've got our Deco the Halls kit, which I believe is about 60% sold out. Sarah should be opening this one next Wednesday for the reveal, but you might want to pick it up. They always tend to go like really quickly right at the end once it's opened. So those are 2 kits that are available. And lastly, speaking about gifts, we've got a giveaway going on where I'm having you enter gift in the comments, and I will choose a winner at the end. We're going to give away one of the Deco the Halls beading design kits here today. So that's what's happening over here. I've got some beads from Cassandra from one of her past curated collections that I pulled out. I've got this fun green collection with a little bit of purple. And I think I'm going to use our Econoflex today. I'm thinking about doing a macrame because Econoflex works well with macrame, and it works really well with things that you need a lot of wire for, which macrame, knitting, bead crochet, stuff like that, you need a lot of wire. And that is when Econoflex also kind of comes in handy because of the price point. You can, get a lot more bang for your buck here. So I'm going to be playing with this and see what happens.
Well, I love those colors together, Kristen. And I think even though they're not like quote unquote traditional Christmas colors, they're very festive and wintry in a certain way too.
They are. And we just saw the Nutcracker. So it had me
Oh,
thinking about the Sugar Plum Fairy. And there's quite a few performances in there that use, like, I feel like they've got like purples and greens and stuff like that on the costumes that they're wearing. So
yes.
I've
Was that
got,
your mom's birthday?
it was my mother-in-law's birthday.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, how fun.
It was really nice. I'm going to switch back to you. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm over here just like plugging away.
Cool. All
So
right.
after going through all of that with the different colors of the soft flex I was looking at, I realized that I actually needed a fine soft flex for the design that I want to work on. So this is the copper color and the 0.014 diameter 21 strand. And Neely and I were just doing a video last week and commenting on, rather questioning what with the 0.014, does it come in any additional strands or only the like 7 strand? Does it only go down from 21?
So it does come in soft flex, soft touch, and in the Econoflex and the Pro Econoflex. Now, our Pro Econoflex does, I think we do make a 49 strand fine in the Pro Econoflex product.
Sorry to like put you on the spot there with kind of a tricky
No, that's
question.
okay.
I
Let
was
me
like,
know.
we both were kind of pondering that whole concept because of what we were working on. And I was like, it's a really good question because I don't know the answer to that specifically.
Yeah. So if I look, so we've got the Softflex Fine is 21 strands. And then we've got the Softflex Econoflex. Let me see. I might not have a fine label with me. Thomas might have to go grab the Econoflex information.
Yeah, no rush for sure. I was just curious. And for this project, it wouldn't make any difference. I think this would work perfectly. So this is the 21 strand 0.014 diameter, and I've got 2 strands, so they were doubled over, and I did a crimp with the little crimp baller, the ravioli technique, as Sarah so lovingly calls it. And this is on one of our favorite types of clasps. It's our ball and socket clasp that we do have on our website. And I'm going to use one of these strands to start. And I'm sitting here thinking about how I should have thought about grabbing some of my bead stoppers. So we'll see if any of those are handy when I end up needing one.
I know those are always they're like so close to you, but not so close to you when you need
Exactly.
them.
And this is a newer bead for us. This is a size 10 Mactubo. So for people who are familiar with a Delica bead, it's very similar in shape to that, but not quite as uniform because this is a Czech seed bead. Of course, I got this on our last trip to the Czech Republic in October, and I fell in love with how many colors they had. So I just got a huge pile of them, but these are a really fun larger hole bead that is more cylindrical in shape. So for these kinds of projects, I think it's really going to be handy. And I threw a couple of those on there to start. And then I've got one of my little red, it's like a lantern sort of shape bead from the classic bundle that I did. And then I've got a few more seed beads, and I'm going to throw a leaf on here. And I'm going to just kind of separate the leaves and the lanterns with a couple of seed beads every so often. And then, oh, good question on the clasp. Is it Coliti? So I've got them right now. I've got the 2 sides clasped together, and it's like a little trailer hitch. And the ring portion twists apart, and it's a little harder to do when it's not attached to something on each end. But this is by far, and we've gotten this feedback over and over the years, the easiest clasp to use on your own while still being incredibly secure. And these last for forever. I've got them on pieces I've worn for years, and I wear them well and often. So it's a really, really great product for us that we've enjoyed for decades.
That is Cassandra's favorite clasp.
It is. You can attest to that, can't you?
I know, I've seen it. I love the fact that you can put it on and off easily with one hand. That makes such a big difference.
It really, really does. It's definitely for a bracelet. And to be honest, even when I'm trying to wear a necklace, if I'm using a lobster clasp, I find that extra hard for some reason. I'm probably just kind of inept when it comes to that stuff.
I know. I use a lot of lobster clasps, so I've gotten pretty comfortable with them, but they aren't always easiest, especially when they get really small, which can get kind of tiny, and then those are really tricky.
I just realized I was gonna try to show. So I'm working on this little bead board, and I've got the little spaces down along the front for my smaller beads or like smaller quantities of beads. We just started stocking these about a month ago, and I just love having the extra organization and that nice felty surface so my beads don't go flying everywhere quite as easily.
That is nice. I know I work on a pretty slick surface on my videos most of the time. Sometimes people are like, why are you not using a bead mat? I'm like, I don't know. It just
because all my bead mats are usually full.
Yeah, it's true. Like they're off to the side. They're all covered.
So I have to like purposefully empty one off to make sure I can use it during a video. Which means they're serving their purpose well, but that isn't always helpful for like publicizing your products, right?
You are getting a lot of love for these clasps. Terry says they are fantastic and far more secure than the magnets. And then I saw someone else. Oh, Lois said, but I love those clasps that you sell, Cassandra.
Aw, thanks, guys. I just, I'm not a big salesperson by heart, but or at heart, but I really, if I believe in a product or I love a product, I think that's where it's just like easy to sell it because I enjoy using it myself. So
totally. Oh, these are cute. I think these might be, I don't know if these are the little piggy beads, the little round ones with the 2 holes.
Yeah, that is a piggy bead. Well, no, those are lentils that you have from the kit.
Oh, gotcha. Cute.
The piggies have a like softer or like a concave, convex shape.
Oh, I see. Yes. A little bit of a dip in there.
And the lentils come as a 1-hole, 2-hole, or 4-hole. So you can pick your poison based on.
Yeah, I was thinking I thought it was a 1-hole when I first picked it up. And then I went, oh no, wait, there's 2 on here.
Well, and it's so funny. I use the 2-hole beads with 1-hole all the time. And then there's times when I've got my 1-hole beads that are the like same styles. And I'm like, gosh darn it, I wish this one had 2 holes in it.
I guess that's true. I might be able to just use it as a 1-hole and you don't even see the other hole really.
Exactly. Yeah. I think there's no rules about that, but there's no right or wrong.
I'll give it a go and see. Because my idea was originally as it as a 1-hole. So we'll see what happens.
Perfect. I think that there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm just going to loop my, because I'm using a fine wire, I think if I just loop it through my seed beads like that, that'll hold it in place because I want to show you guys my plan. So with that second wire that's already attached, I'm going to take the end, and it doesn't have any beads on it right now, and just go through my lantern. This is why I had to switch to the 0.014 because I was just having a little too much resistance with that lantern and a medium wire. If I had like taken time to choose beads with specifically big holes, I bet I could have used the medium, but I really wanted to have like,
that's true.
Yeah, spots where my wire showed in between for the second like layer of bead work.
I know that there are a lot of fine wire lovers out there in our beading world for sure. I was like, I do a lot of medium work, but I know that there's a lot of diehard fine lovers. And I'm thinking about it. I think our Econoflex is 1x7 strands in fine. And
Okay.
then the Pro Econoflex, I believe, is 49 strand, because I do remember that being like a big thing when we created it, because they were like, finally, we have a 49 strand fine. And then the Softflex is 21 and the Soft Touch is 21.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what yeah, thanks, Thomas. I remember that too. When it first came out, the Pro Econoflex is our first and only fine made with 49 strands of stainless steel.
Trying to decide how many colors and shapes and sizes of beads I need on this.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing, but we'll see if this is good or not.
I'm super intrigued by your comments about it, and like it's like such a fun mystery to like hear some of the like background thought that's going into it without seeing what you're doing to it.
Right? Because I did not plan this out. I'm just showing up and making something. And yeah, so I'm not sure if it'll work or not, but we'll see. I'll leave it mystery for now until I get a little further along.
Okay, that works for us. We guess we can handle that. I'm over here pulling things off and redoing my, I really want to leave a little bit more of the wire bare on this. So on the second strand, I'm coming out of the, oh, good question. What size are these lanterns? Unfortunately, since I don't have them individually for sale at this point, I don't have that information right handy, but maybe I can guesstimate, and I bet at least the length of them is about, let's see, 8 millimeters. I bet they're like close to 8 millimeters in length, but I bet the width is only about 6 millimeters. So they would fit really well in like a traditionally 6 millimeter preferred project because of like the width, but you'd want to be careful because the length is definitely just a touch longer.
You're right, Lois. Kristen likes to plan ahead. I do. It sometimes takes me a few tries before I get something the way I like it.
Well, I mean, you can see it's no different over here, but yeah, I do like, there's the copper wire showing, and then I've just got a little 3 millimeter fire polish with just a hint of green there. So with the crystal leaf off to the side and everything, I'm really feeling this like kind of very subtle Christmassy vibe with that. That's fun.
So cute. I always love to see designs with leaves. I feel like they're so pretty, and whenever I get leaf beads, I'm like, what do I do with this? So it's fun when I get to see someone else make something with leaf beads.
You know who a mutual friend of ours that I feel like does a lot of beautiful things with leaves is Heather Powers.
She does. She definitely does. She does a lot of really fun, beautiful nature inspired.
Yes, nature inspired.
Pieces.
The perfect way to describe her style. And as I'm working, because you don't finish these strands off individually and you do them together with the crimps, I would say just being mindful of your tension and like pulling on your first strand a little bit each time you go through with your second strand is probably a little important to not have any of your design be buckling in spots you don't want it to. Like I was just noticing a little bit of that as I worked. So figure if it's happening to me, it might happen to somebody else, and I should definitely pass that on. Kristen, it might be a miracle. I might get through 2 ideas tonight, and then it would be like, yeah. I could actually share pictures of it tonight or tomorrow.
I'm always impressed with myself when I get more than one thing done in a video because I'm always like, it takes me forever. Sarah's always like, oh, I'll just whip up like 5 pieces of jewelry.
Oh, no kidding. That woman is out of control, like fast with her ideas and her, beading. So good.
She's so fast. And yeah, I'm always like, whoa, I might get to make a pair of earrings too. This is big time.
Big time. Oh, I love it. That's so good. Well, hopefully with these ideas being faster, it gives people some possible, like, there might be a few people floating around out there that have some last minute gifts to make. So,
oh, that's a good question. Anyone out there still making this week? Are you still in the throes of gift making, or have you thrown in the towel at this point and you're like, that's it, gifts are done. Now I just make things for myself at this point. What camp are you in? I have to still make some more cookies. I always give cookies as gifts, so I'm not done with that part of it. A couple more, says Lois. Aw, thanks, Kathy. Kathy says, squash the like button for Softflex, please.
Aww.
Yes, please do.
Ooh, I like that wording, squash. That's a great way to think of it.
Yeah. Give us a nice like or a heart, or if you're on YouTube, a thumbs up. That would be awesome. Sherry's still working on gifts. Bobby is done. Her daughter is going shopping tomorrow. Oh my gosh. I know I've had those years for sure where I've been like right down to like the day before.
I inevitably think about, like, I went to a big box store for just a couple of things. What was it? Yesterday? My days are blending together. Yes. And it wasn't quite as scary as I was expecting it to be, like with massive amounts of people. But I definitely was like, okay, I hope that's the end of that.
For sure. Terry says she's hoping to knock out 4 crochet bracelets for friends and their daughters. Oh, that sounds lovely. I know. I was thinking about doing crochet today based on Joyce's thing on Friday, but I felt like I needed a little refresher. I couldn't quite just jump right into that right now. But that was on my brain. Oh, Zach squashed the like button. Thanks, Zach.
Squash that button.
Cynthia's working on some gingerbread cookies. Debbie is done and she quit. She threw in the towel. That's it. Wanda's also done. Gifts are done, and beading is all hers now. Oh, Liz has gotten sick. Oh, sorry, Liz. I hope you're feeling better before the holiday.
That's the worst.
Yeah. Bridget is still working on gifts. She can't get to the store. Yep. I know how that is. I'm definitely like the only 2 people that I'm kind of left to do are my sisters, but they don't live near me. So I'm like, well, if it's a little late, that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to see them in person. So it's like, that's all right. It'll arrive when it arrives.
Well, and fun fact for anyone who's wondering about shipping, I pay close attention to what the Postal Service will promise at this point in the game. And they have a timeline of today's the last day that if you mailed something priority, that they would guarantee-ish that it would get someplace before the 25th. So,
yeah,
a heads up.
So if you need to rush out,
oh gosh, yeah,
depending on where you are in the country, because by me, they're probably, I think they do a pickup. I think they do one more pickup in the evening, actually, by me, by my post office. But you're pretty much donezo after today.
Sorry to my East Coast friends. I kind of didn't give.
We're a little late to let you know. This is turning out interesting.
Ooh, I'm basically just repeating wash, rinse, and repeat. So if you want to show us what you're, or you like,
Yeah.
you want to finish it before you show it.
Oh no, I don't have to finish it. I just wanted to get past like a certain part to feel like, okay, one section is done, right?
Yes.
Right. And I think that I am there. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll show you all what I'm working on over here.
Yay.
So I pulled out my macrame board, my mini macrame board. I have not done this in a while. And
Oh my gosh.
I decided to play with a little macrame. So I'm using the Econoflex. This is the medium diameter, but the fine would work too. This is the plum color. And one of the fun things about the Econoflex is the colors are really pretty. They're like kind of jewel tone colors. So this is a really pretty purple. And then we also have, gosh, if we still have them left, because I don't even know what we've got in stock, but we have a really pretty blue. And then that cinnamon red is what you're going to get for free gifts starting today. And it kind of works up really nicely when you
That is
are.
so darn cool.
Yeah, so this was the part that I was like, I don't know if it's going to work. So I did it's a 2-hole bead that I only strung 1 hole on each side, and then I left the wire exposed to kind of connect to the other hole. So let's do a little macrame here.
Now,
So
about what lengths do you start with when you do something like this, Kristen?
yeah, good question. So I've got that's what I was wondering too when I started. I ended up doing just a bit longer than the macrame board for the 2 middle strands, and this board is 9 inches. So I probably cut about, I don't know, maybe 12 inches total.
Okay.
But it's probably more than I need because it doesn't really have to extend this far down. And I'll likely probably make a bracelet. And then for the stringing wire, I just did a arm span. So I went all the way, from one side of my arm and just did a whole arm span to the other side. So I don't know exactly what that was. And I don't know if it's going to end up being the length I need it, but I think it will. I feel like I have plenty.
Fun fact, that's about 5 feet.
Yeah, so I grabbed a lot. I figured it more than enough, I'm sure, is what I've got here. And I have a little bead stopper on the back holding the wire so that so it doesn't kind of fall through while I'm working, because it is a little bit slippery. And yes, we do at Softlex sell these macrame boards. Do you sell something like this too, Cassandra?
I don't have anything like that in stock these days. So that's
Okay.
something they should pop over to you guys for.
Yeah.
I'm
So
gonna have to
we've
get
got
to that Econoflex now because I really love this idea.
And you can do it with any of our wires. It works with all of them. I've done it with Softlex before in lots of different colors. But like I said, the Econoflex is really budget friendly. So because you are using a lot of wire, you don't feel bad cutting off a few feet to make a design. So yeah, pretty fun. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'll show you one knot. This is called a square knot. You could find a bazillion tutorials on how to make a square knot. But basically, you'll take one side and you're going to loop it above your 2, create that like P, and go above your 2 wires that are in the middle. And then your left side is going to cross over. See how it's crossing on top of that wire I just crossed? And then you're going to go under and then through that loop and then pull it tight. Now I will say Softlex is a little more forgiving. Like if you pull this tight and then you need to undo it, it's going to kink up a little more in the Econoflex than it would in the Softlex. But I find when you're doing macrame, it's not that big of a deal, because if you pull the knot out to redo it, you're just going to pull it tight again and you're not going to see what happened. It's fine.
Well, and I wouldn't want to discourage people from using the regular Softlex, but I bet that almost works to your advantage that the Econoflex version holds its knot a little bit tighter too, doesn't it?
Yeah, I would say the soft flex in the beginning, especially like your first couple of ones, is a little, you have to really tug on it because it's gonna want to spring back. Whereas
Yeah.
the Econoflex locks into place a little more
Okay.
easily because of the because it's more wiry feeling, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't have as much spring back as the soft flex has. So now we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side, going in the other direction to finish out our square knot. So we're going to make that loop. It's like a D, and then we're going to go over our two middle wires, and then we take the one on the right side. We go on top of that wire that we're crossing here, and then under the middle and through the loop. And then you just pull that down. And now you've got a complete square knot. Let's see if that's going to want to focus. That's pretty
Yeah, that's
good.
really nice. Yeah.
And then you can string on your beads. So what I did for this pattern is I did three on the outside strands here. I did three seed beads, three seed beads. I don't even know if you need this little one in the middle, but I put it there, one on each strand in the middle. Then I did the 2 hole beads and then this rectangle, and then repeated it on the bottom. So let's just do that one together, and then you'll have an idea of what I'm saying. And then we could switch back to see what Cassandra's up to.
Just over here finishing this bracelet off because I hate doing the magic crimps on camera.
Oh, perfect timing then. I know what you mean. I don't know what it is. It's like you get camera shy with that kind of stuff, and then
So much pressure.
it doesn't work the way you want it to. And I think it's also because you're, when you're under a camera, you're not necessarily like holding something the way you would if you're not on camera.
Absolutely. I cannot agree with that more.
So I went ahead and strung 3 little seed beads on each side of these little winged pieces, and then you can tuck them into your macrame board so that you don't lose them. And then I'm going to pick up the 2 bottom ones that were tucked into the bottom. That's like my middle strands. And on that, I'm going to string 1 seed bead on each. Let me pull that into camera a little bit there. Kind of get lost on where the camera is. And then I'm going to do this 2 hole bead, but I'm only going to string one side and do 1 each on those strands there. And then I'm going to do, so on this one, you'll see I only strung one of the holes and there's still another hole available. And then for the rectangle, I'm going to string it down both. And scoot that up. And then I'll do those little lentil beads again, just 1 hole on each side. Just 1 hole. And then I'll do 2 more, 1 on each strand of the little green seed beads. And then I'll tuck these 2 wires back into my macrame board on the bottom. So kind of slide those up and then take these and just tuck them back into the bottom of my board. And then I'm going to pick up these 2 stringing wires again. So at this point, this was where I was like, I don't know how this is going to work. But at this point, I'm going to string into that other hole for both of these lentil beads on each side. So there's one, kind of helping it anchor into place. And then there's the other. I don't usually do like quite as like tedious designs like this when it comes to macrame, but
I bring it out to people.
yeah, I feel like this is a very Cassandra inspired.
Oh, that was perfect.
I'm using the medium Econoflex. but I feel like the fine would be just okay too. The very fine, we have very fine also. I don't know. I haven't really played around with that one too much to know if that would be just a smidge too thin.
I feel like that one I should just pull out my seed beads and start weaving with it. It seems like
Yes, it's a very good weaving line for sure. Which, so it might be okay. It's just, you know, what's going to happen is the thinner diameter makes your knot smaller. So it just depends on like what you want it to look like. And if it's going to get too small.
Okay.
For your liking, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's where I'm at there.
And I am obsessed with that.
Thank you. And then I'll do 3 seed beads on each of these sides again, just to make these little like those little end caps, I guess. And then we can start to do another round of square knots in between. And I didn't really pay attention to like, I guess at this point I'm almost at 2 inches. So if you have like a 7-inch bracelet, maybe you'd end up with somewhat like 6 of these little sections. I don't know. You'd have to see as you go down if it. That's the nice thing about the mini macrame board too, is you've got numbers down the side. So it kind of helps you to say, oh, at this point, I need to pull it off the board and add my clasp and stuff.
Well, and I think with something like that, whether people want to be flexible or not, sometimes you just have to kind of play the end by ear. And if it doesn't exactly match the symmetry of the way you started, it's, you know, like just the way it goes sometimes.
Right. Yeah, you always have to have that first trial to be like, okay, now I know I need, 4 knots between or whatever it is. But that's what I think I ended up doing, is 4 square knots in between. So now that I have all of those, my beads for that middle section all done up, I can go back to the square knot plan. So I make my loop on the right, take my left over, under, through the loop, pull that tight, and then sometimes your wires want to crisscross. I just make sure to uncrisscross them, especially in the beginning. You might just have to kind of pull them taut again. And then make your loop on the left, go down, under, through, and pull that tight. And once you get one like good square knot in there, then everything's kind of locked in place, and you can do your next 3 knots without it moving around much on you.
Oh, it's so cute. It looks
Thank
like
you.
pagodas or something. I'm trying to think of what those little sections remind me of, the way the beads are oriented.
Yeah, someone said an hourglass, I think, in the comments. So that's what Sherry said. It looks like an hourglass. It does kind of. It has a very like lantern-y hourglass feel.
Super cute.
So cute. Thank you. Yeah, Khalidi says medium Econoflex equals pretty wire that you can knot. I'll have to check it out. I know. I haven't given Econoflex any love on videos in quite some time. So that's why I was like, I need to do something with it today.
Yeah, no, that is looking so good. And the fun thing about whether people are looking at the colors that you're using right now, or they're looking for other colors, all 12 sets of our curated collection subscriptions of the 2-hole beads and the seed beads are now like out in the wild for anyone to purchase individually, like by the strand or by the bag of the seed bead colors. So
oh, that's super cool. So yeah, the beads I'm using on my design are from Cassandra, and they are from one of her collections. I don't know which month it was, but if you go check out beadstoliveby.com, you can see all of them now from the whole year. That's so exciting.
Oh my gosh, you totally panned over as I was like destroying a crimp bead.
Oh, did I? Sorry.
No. It was just such funny timing. I was sitting there trying to like use the magic pepper, and I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
The camera's on me. Oh no. I know. We all
And
do it. We all
sometimes
destroy
my
crimps.
different varieties of things get like all mixed together, and I'm wondering if this is like I might have been using a subpar crimp bead, so that could have been.
Well, and you are using fine, you said, right?
Well, nope, this is the
Oh,
medium.
okay.
Yep, I've
Okay. Because I was
totally
going to say that could be giving you a
nope.
little bit of a hard
I
time.
finished the bracelet, but that was like a quick and easy one. And I just went through. So, speaking of your ends not matching, I've got the start end was with this lantern, and the finished end I did by going through just one of my 3 millimeters once I added the leaf section because of the sizing. But when you look at it as a whole, it looks pretty continuous. So I just wanted to point that out so people didn't get, caught up in trying to match their start and stop ends. But I am working with, so my idea is to use this as either a big earring or a small pendant for those who would not be into a big earring. And then I have got these beautiful etch finish drops that were from our trip to the Czech Republic.
So pretty.
And they come in a coppery set of colors, and they just looked so festive when I saw them in their big bags in the factory that I had to like grab some.
Yeah,
And
they look like little lights.
they do. That's what I said. I was like, this is like Christmas tree lights or like on a wreath or something. So it's the perfect mix of like you could pull out springy colors. You could use those reds and greens this time of year. And there's 3 different finishes, so you wouldn't have to stick to just, like golds or, something. But this is my idea. Because these are top drilled, which I think sometimes can be hard to design with, kind of like the leaves, Kristen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing these little loops of just like soft flex jump ring, basically like a sealed ring. And I'm going to do a handful of them if I can manage to salvage enough crimp beads to demo this.
I always say that these kind of projects like this that you're working on is great for crimp practice.
Oh my gosh, exactly.
You get in a groove.
Different lengths or sizes of these loops and then attach them all. I've got some bronze 20 gauge craft wire here from you guys, and I'm going to put that through my bigger focal bead and then like dangle those guys off. So I've got one of the drops and a crimp bead on, and we're going to crisscross our wire and go through the crimp bead. And because you're trying to like utilize as much or as little rather of your wire as possible to an extent, and I've got like a little marred spot there, so I'm going to go a little extra far with this side. But you want to adjust so that you have enough to hold on to on the short end and then pull through with your long end. And, basically you just want to make your whatever desired size loop. So like this one is the size, I'm going to make this one smaller and then I'll make the next one bigger. And you also have to be mindful that you can actually get the nose of your crimpers through and then turn and twist that easily while you're doing your crimping. So
yes, very good tip. If you make that loop too small, that little circle too small, you won't be able to get your crimper all the way in there.
Exactly.
Such a fun idea. I love making these little circles like that. And I have a couple of designs I've done over the years, and I always get so many compliments when I wear them. I kind of forget about the novelty of it, and then I wear it and someone's like, what is happening? Like, that is really fun.
Well, and yeah, I've definitely seen you girls do some similar ideas with the wire, and it's just like, there's endless possibilities for how you can apply some of this stuff, right?
So true. And it's so fun to see, I mean, just change in beads or change in, the shape or how you put it together makes a completely different look. Beautiful design coming at you from a few people, Cassandra. And then Kalidi
Oh, yay.
is asking a question on the size of your drops.
So I know it says it on our website. I feel like they might be a 5x7, but I'm not going to hold myself accountable for the memory of that. I want to say that they're a 5x7 millimeter, but gosh, they could even be as big as a 9 in length, especially looking at these little lantern beads. So I bet they're like maybe a 7x9, but it does say on the listing for them. So it's not a mystery other than in my mind.
She's wondering also, do you sell a 4x6 size drop? Do you have any happen to know? It's so hard to know what you've got and what you don't.
I know, right? I pretty confidently can say I don't have any 4x is it 4x6 that she's asking about? Yeah. Listed on the website, unfortunately.
No,
this might be one of the only drops I have listed on the website, actually. That's kind of interesting.
Does it come in did you show 2 different colorways?
There are 3 different colorways. So this is the gold. They're all a mix of colors, and it's a very random mix as far as like one bag to the next. But this one has the gold like wash on one side of it, and then there's the copper, which is a bit softer looking, and the colors vary a little bit into the teals and stuff, it looks like, based on this bag at least. And gosh, I can't stand looking at it under the plastic. So
I know, I feel the same way. It's so much better when you take it off the plastic.
Yeah. And these metal colors, the gold is like a nice brassy, like yellow gold. The copper could definitely be used with coppers or with rose golds. It's got that like really pristine sort of color to it. And then the third was, I can't remember what I called this on the website, but it doesn't have like a side to it the way the other 2 do. It's just got this powdery soft, like almost a silver wash over the entire thing to make it kind of sparkle, or like it looks a little like shimmery over the whole color.
It's that almost has like that icicle kind of look to it on that one.
Yes, it's very icy looking, which
like
because the colors are a little softer overall, because there's no like harsh metal color, I think these will like play really well into the spring for sure too.
Yeah. Like first spring kind of idea.
Yes. Okay, let's see. I think I'm going to do this. And because I'm using that spinel color in the medium wire, I ended up doing like more of a monochromatic set of colors with my drops. So
that's a good plan. So you let the wire color be like the big.
Yeah, the red pop.
Yeah. Frosty look. Kalidi says jewel tones. Lois says, I wish I could open those bags like you do. Did she do like, I didn't see you open it. Did you like a side twist? Like a little.
Yeah, you gotta give it the slide.
I had a feeling that's what you were talking about. I know, because if you pull it the other way, you tend to like rip them apart.
Rip the bag, yeah.
And then
and it almost always takes me longer too when I try to do it that way. That was a quote unquote tip that I got within like weeks of working at the first bead store that I worked at while I was in college.
They were like, slide the bags open.
They probably were looking at me like, oh my gosh, this is going to take you
forever. It's going to take her forever. Yeah. We don't have time for that.
We don't have time to wait for you to open a bag. All right. I think 3 of them, at least in theory, is how I want to work this.
So cute. So is your brick and mortar shop open this week leading up to the holiday? Or
we're open until the day before Christmas Eve. Over the years, I've come to realize that there usually isn't a lot of like, last minute bead shoppers out there, at least in person. So I don't stay open to, like right up until the holiday. But then
That makes sense.
yeah, I'm leaving the website open through like Christmas Day because I think we've got like gift certificates people come by and they get an instant email, and I was like, oh man, that would be so helpful in case somebody was like, I forgot, a gift
Yeah.
for X, Y, or Z.
Or, sometimes someone will say to you too, like, hey, I want to gift you something somewhere you'd want. And you'd be like, oh, beads. Hello, of
There
course.
you go.
Send
Exactly.
me beads.
Always.
So it's kind of nice to be able to grab those. Gift certificates are always great last minute, but also very welcome for people to be able to shop what they want to shop, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard to know, like if you have crafty friends, like it's hard to know what they've got in their stash.
Oh my
Like
gosh, right? Yeah.
unless they've told you I need X, Y, and Z, like that's like a really needle in a haystack thing to kind of try and figure out.
Yeah, for sure. No, I was thinking about that the other day because, people ask you like what, especially your family, what you want for the holidays. And I was like, man, I wish somebody would just get me some craft supplies or like art supplies. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought about it and
Yep.
I was like, like anybody knows what I do or don't have laying in my drawers of endless
Right.
supplies.
Yeah. So it's like they have to get you like an art supply gift card. Unless they know it's like, oh, this is a new item. She probably doesn't have this yet,
There you go.
something like that. Or I think it would be awesome. We all are creatives and have creative friends. If you gifted someone, you're like, this is something I use all the time and I love it. And I thought you would love it too. Like, that's pretty cool.
I have received at least one of those gifts in the past, and it is such a welcome treat because, if it's like a tried and tested product by someone that you admire, like the work that they do, it's really kind of a great gift.
Totally. Do you do curated collections as gifts in any way? Is that a possible gift item?
So, as far as like people could do the subscription for someone else,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have had people do that because your ship address and your billing address are two different things. So you can
Oh, that's
send
fun.
that subscription right along to someone else.
Very cool. Ooh, I am loving this, Cassandra.
I'm so excited about this, Kristen. This is going to be a giant pair of holiday earrings for myself.
Oh my gosh, I love a giant pair of holiday earrings.
I know, me too.
So pretty. So pretty.
And I think people could play around with like the size that they do the loops as, or the placement. Like maybe you could hang them off one another
That's
and dangle
true.
them off
You
something
could dang
smaller.
them.
Yeah.
If you wanted a feather duster and you really wanted it to keep going, you can hang them off one another. Or that would be a fun way to make it into a necklace if you wanted to make a few more links and then add another, big bead or something.
Oh man, they would be really cute on the ends of, if you did like a few that way, they would be fun on the ends of like a lariat or something, right?
Oh, so cute.
Oh man, I could feel the creative there's like kinetic energy going back and forth.
Have you all tried something like that where you've made those little soft flex jump rings with a little bead on it before? I'm curious who has given that a go, or are you just totally like, oh, next time I have drops, I'm making something just like that, because it's a really fun idea. It looks really cute. What did you use for the wire? Did you use a craft wire to go through the
Yes,
bead?
that's
Oh,
your
that's
20 gauge in the, do you call it? Yeah, vintage bronze.
Oh, lovely. So it's got a little of that bronziness to go with the drops.
Yes, and I was kind of playing around because I'm using like the gold crimp beads, and the drops are like kind of a cross between like that softer gold and like a brassy color. So I wanted to just play around with like having multiple shades of the metal tones because I love working with so many different products that I certainly don't want to limit myself by using like the exact same metal color throughout a project per se. I think it's helpful just to kind of like vary that as I can.
Yeah, I hear ya. It's kind of fun to play around with the different ones. Catherine says Softflex wire is always welcome. So there you have it. If you need a gift, Softflex wire is a good gift to give.
Catherine, do you need us to send a little note to anybody in your life?
Pretty. Liz loves the earrings. Lori says
Aw, thanks,
pretty. Bridget says
guys.
beautiful earrings. Love the loops. And look, that was your on the fly design, right? That was the one that you didn't. I don't know if
Well,
you thought about the other one at all, but oh,
they
you have some sketches. I like it.
those are my like. No, I definitely kind of thought about this just a touch.
Just a touch. It doesn't always come out exactly as you think on the paper, but
And
yeah, it's like
I didn't test the theory ahead of time, so that was hard for me to even not do that.
right. I know. That's the part too, because I'm always like, oh, if it doesn't work, I'll be so disappointed. Beautiful earrings. Yes, Lois. Sarah has definitely done those little loops
Oh yeah,
before.
for sure.
She's even had them in books and things like that, all different ways. But like I said, the concept is been done, but this particular design I don't think I've seen. So yeah, that's kind of
Did you see Terry's comment? Thanks for calling me out, Terry.
what did she say? I missed it. Is
It
it down?
says,
Maybe it's down lower.
I love that as Cassandra turns page 47 of her sketches for today's meeting.
That's awesome.
I feel called out.
Well, it's nice to have. I mean, that's what sketchbooks are all about, right?
Yes,
Um,
yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
they're all about being able to look back because sometimes we're in a mood to think about a design and sometimes we're in a mood to actually make it. And
Oh my
sometimes they're
gosh,
not like the same, sometimes it's not the same time, right?
that's
So
such a good way to word it.
it's like sometimes you just have to draw it out and sometimes you just want to make it. And this way, when you've got one or the other, you can kind of flip back and forth to when you're in one mode versus another.
Well,
I'm
and
gonna
sometimes speaking of all that, aren't you just in the mood to like organize your beads too? That
Oh
happens.
yeah. So that's a whole nother thing, right? Just gathering and organizing. Sometimes it's just like the gathering is and putting them all together is just the fun in and of itself.
Therapeutic.
Um, so I definitely still have a little ways to go because this little centerpiece is taking me a little while to do, but I've got 3 done. And sizing wise, I'm about 3.5 right now. So I think my idea of being, maybe it'll be 5. Maybe it'll end up with 5, and then I'll see how the sizing is. I might not make it fully to a 6 lantern, but yeah, if you want to see how to finish it, I do have lots of macrame videos on the Softflex Company YouTube channel that I've done from start to finish in the past. So you can see like how I add the clasp and everything at the finishing. There's a little fly in here.
That's not the season we're in anymore. That was
Yeah.
like, oh, there's a little cat.
What's all this green stuff? Is this a plant? No.
He's looking for food.
So if you want to see how you actually finish it, I'm not going to do that today, but you can go check out our YouTube channel and just type in macrame and you'll get all of my previous videos that I've done too. And now it's dark. Now it's dark in my house. It looks like it's a little darker in your house.
Oh, it's pitch dark outside in Michigan right now.
Is
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. But
Oh
we're
my
gonna
gosh.
have the craziest weather, which it's not abnormal for us. I think by Christmas Day it's gonna be almost 60. And yeah, so it's like there have been years.
Now you usually have a white Christmas, I would think, right?
It's really not the case. We usually get a weird early snow in like November-ish. And then it warms back up. And then in January and February, we really get walloped sometimes. But There's been a year at least that I walked around on New Year's Eve at midnight without like anything other than like a light jacket or a sweater on. It's just,
Wow. It's just, you
weather.
never know. It's
No,
so interesting. That's how it was where I grew up. Because even though I'm from New York, I'm from Long Island, which tends to be a little warmer because we're surrounded by water. And it was always kind of hit or miss. Like we'd have an occasional white Christmas, but most of the time it would be like rainy or something instead.
We
Just
have
wouldn't quite be cold enough.
very similar weather, except for the like effect of being right along the water for them.
Hmm.
East Coast, we're like parallel with some of those areas and have very
Oh,
similar
gotcha.
weather. Yeah.
So I know exactly. And we were always the same way. Like you could get like snow in November, and then it'd mostly be probably January, February that you would totally get hit with winter weather. And December was just always kind of mild and rarely a white Christmas. Definitely not having a white Christmas here in Phoenix unless I go and like go see some what is it,
Really.
like the soapy the the
With a
soapy
little,
snow.
like packing peanuts, but like in pellet form, just spritz them into the air.
When my kids were little, the park by us would do like a sledding day, and they would literally bring in snow and ice, and then the kids would all
Oh,
go sledding, and we'd all be like, the parents would be in like t-shirts, and the kids are sledding down.
that's
So,
awesome.
you can't really get that anywhere else. It's kind of
No.
interesting. All right, let's pick a winner and wrap this up. I thank you all so much for hanging out with us, with me and Cassandra today. I mean, I could just kind of hang out all night, so I gotta, I gotta rein myself in sometimes.
Bring it in, right?
So if you haven't entered the giveaway, #gift, enter now. I'll give you just a few minutes, and let me go ahead and pull up my share screen, and we will choose a winner. I've got 61 of you that have entered so far. We're going to give away one of our Deco the Halls design kits, which Sarah will be revealing next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. I don't know if Joyce has a video this Friday. She might. We do it at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time if she does, but with the holidays approaching, I'm unsure. I'll know by tomorrow, and we'll put up the stream if she is doing a video. But if she's not, just look for Sarah next Wednesday, and then I'll be back in a couple of weeks on Mondays. All right, let's see. We've got 62. All right, here we go. Here
I feel
we
like I should
go.
play like that noise that the wheel on Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, Kathy Mike, I know you were here. I remember seeing you comment. Are you still around? You have to be here at the end to win. So please let us know in the comments that you're still here. And Cassandra, what do you have going on? Any sales or anything that you want to share with anybody at the moment?
So,
What's happening?
oh gosh. So I think after our little break next week, I'll probably be doing some sales. So people should definitely stay tuned for that. I don't have a real solid plan, but that's part of my need for some time of, being able to plop that out for a few days. Oh, look, there's Kathy.
Kathy's here. Hooray. Congratulations, Kathy. Email us over at info@softflexcompany.com. Give us your shipping information, and we will be sure to get a Deco the Halls kit out for you. Cassandra actually helped us with some items in the Deco the Halls kit. So very excited to share that kit with everyone next week. And thank you for helping us out to source some of the fun things we've got going on in there. It's always
Well, I can't
nice.
wait to see what all you guys put together with the different items. So that'll be a fun reveal to get to witness. But I love collaborating with you guys so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. We love it too. And thanks for joining us today. I really had a great time hanging out with you. Happy holidays to you and your family, and Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everybody out there in the internet land. We love you all. And thanks for hanging with us this evening. We Yeah. What do you've got? You have anything else happening, like videos or anything through the end of the year, or is this it for a little while?
So I've got a cute project. I just got some new inventory in. So if I can get my act together, I might still do a video midweek next week. But yeah, it might be quiet through the first if I get bogged down by other work. There's so much stuff to do at the end of the
I
year.
know the end of the year is tough. And that week between Christmas and New Year's is just such a weird, wild week. So
No man's
I
land.
get it. So it'll be a surprise visit from
It
Cassandra
will
if she
be.
can make it. Otherwise, look for her in the beginning of the year. Check her out over at beadstoliveby.com and let everyone know what your Facebook group is again.
We have a couple. We have Beads in Progress where people can share basically anything they're working on that either uses our beads, is some kind of similar project that we've shared in the past, or like a class that they've taken with us. So as long as it just somehow relates sort of kind of back to our business, that's all we're looking at. And then we also have a group called New Beads that is just literally what it says. We share new products as we get them in. They're usually first before they quite get shared anywhere else. So that's kind of a fun place to have your eye out for
Oh,
new and exciting
I
things that.
wonder I wonder if I'm in the new beads one. I do see a lot of activity in the beads in progress. So it's a very busy, active group. So that's definitely one I see in my feed, but I'm not sure if I see the new beads. I'll have to go check and see if I am a member of that one or if
Yeah,
it's
it looks
just,
like Thomas
you
is
know,
on top of it with some links there.
he
So
sure is. He's sharing all the links. Thanks, Thomas. New beads.
there
There it
it is.
is.
Appreciate it. I wouldn't have been able to find it that quick for people.
I know. He's on it. Thomas is really great in the background. Thanks for helping us out, Thomas. I know we've run a little bit longer than usual because Kristen just keeps talking. And and my apologies for that. Merry Christmas,
Like
everyone.
an end of the year special that was like 2 hours long. Clearly, we needed more time. I could have whipped out another project in that time.
Sandra's ready to go. She's got her book of sketches and she can just decide on a whim what to
Flip through
create.
the 55 pages I had there.
That's a great tip. So if anyone out there is super stumped, get yourself a little book of sketches because you just never know. And like I said, sometimes you're in the mood to like think about designing, and sometimes you're in the mood to actually make a design, and they're not always the same time. So
And
get yourself a little place.
And in case people are out there that are like, they don't think of themselves as artists, do you think that if anybody else looked at this without seeing the finished product, that they would know what I was using or talking about? They would not. That's why I have to literally label the beads. I wouldn't remember after I walk away.
What was I doing?
Exactly.
Yeah, so you don't have to you don't have to worry about your artistic
Like a fine
ability.
artist.
It's just doodling it down and getting the idea out so that you can put it together later. All right, everyone. Love to you all. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, Happy
Thanks,
Holidays, all the
guys.
things. And remember, we are giving away free gifts at softflexcompany.com starting today through Tuesday. Lots and lots of free stuff. So go check it out, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks,
Bye, everybody.
everybody.